literature units for you. This one is the Time Machine, and this is a super cute story about a guy who takes an adventure in his time machine. He's a scientist and he comes across some very interesting worlds that way. So if you're interested in seeing what's inside of our Lapbook and what the unit study is all about, stick around and we'll be right back. So here's what the unit looks like. As always, it has a fun cover that your students can cover. And then with this unit, we're just using the Classic Starts version, which I've been using with all of my literature units. These are great for elementary level readers. I think they go up, they say, through 5th grade. And they just are a great way to introduce the classics at a younger age and get your kids into chapter books. They also come with comprehension questions at the end of the story. And they're a little bit more intuitive kind of thinking, interpretive, like how do you think that, you know, this activity made this person feel and that kind of thing. So I really like these. They're a great way to get younger readers into the classics at kind of an earlier age and also into chapter books by themselves. So that's what we're using for this unit. And then this is just your regular file folder, and I just folded in both of the sides to kind of create a Lapbook for us. This particular unit has 17 chapters and plus an epilogue, which is a great vocabulary word to introduce to your younger students. I just wanted to zoom out a little bit there so you could kind of see it a little bit better. I did add a third flap up here just to give us some more space for our mini books inside. So as you can see, I just cut out one piece of a file folder and then just taped it with some clear packing tape along this strip right here. And then each one of these mini books that you see here go with one of the chapters in the reading, and then they each have comprehension questions that go with them. So you can tell whether or not your student has remembered or understood what they've read as they're going through this, so that if you're not going through it with them, you know that they're actually reading and understanding what they're supposed to do. And all of my units also include a vocabulary set of words, and so that would just be some of the words that your students may or may not know prior to reading. And so they're just a little bit more unusual words, and this is a great way to build up their vocabulary, and also it helps them understand when they're reading through some of these older stories. So those are all included in all of them. And then if you close up the mini book and flip it over to the back side, you'll see all of the student report pages, and I just cut a file folder in half and then just taped it along these 3 edges to make a pocket on the back of my book. And so they all come with these reports, and this one is a prediction worksheet where they're going to just look at, this is before they even start reading, they're going to look at the cover of the book and kind of just decide what they think it's going to happen, what they think it's going to be about, where and when they think it takes place. And then that's kind of a fun activity to compare at the end to see how close they were based on, you know, whether or not they could judge a book by a cover or not. So that's kind of a fun one. They also come with a literature timeline, and you may have to print more of than just one of these pages for your students. I let my kids fill these out on their own. So they can either write something or draw a small picture of just major events that happen as they're reading through the story. And like I said, I'm not too specific on this. I let them kind of fill that out on their own whenever they think that something big has happened that they want to remember. And that's just a great storyboard to kind of remind them of the events and sequence that took place in the story. They also all come with just a few facts about the story, the setting, the plot, the main character, and then their favorite thing about it. They'll fill out a worksheet on the protagonist and antagonist, who they were, what the problem was, and what the solution was. So they'll fill this out towards the end of their reading. And then, of course, they'll all complete a final book report where they're listing the author, the illustrator, the summary of the story, and then their report or their opinion of what they think about it. And then there's several of these units that have had movies made with them, and so I just urge you to find a age-appropriate movie for your students in particular, where they can watch the movie after they've read the book, and then they can compare the similarities, the differences, how the movie characters kind of matched up to the ones in their imagination, and then which version they like better. Did they like the book or the movie, and why? So those are just some great reports to, again, further comprehension of the story that they've read, and to just get them thinking a little more critically as they're going through these units. So I just keep all of those reports, like I said, in the back pocket here. It's just a great way to kind of keep everything together. All right, and lastly, all of my units include a teacher's activity guide. They tell you what materials you need, which are usually just the book, some file folders, and then my guide. What to do in advance, what to do prior to reading, and I usually have them do that predictions worksheet and their vocabulary. Explains the timeline to you so you know what they're supposed to be doing for that. And then for each chapter, it tells you the chapter, the name of the chapter, and then what to do for that chapter. So this one is first one, so they'll be preparing their lap book and adding the cover, and then they're going to complete the chapter 1 mini book, and it just tells them what to do. Cut it out, fold it in half along the dotted line, you know, cut flaps, whatever. And then on the inside it says answer these questions. What are the 4 dimensions that the time traveler talks about? And then you have the answers: height, width, length, and also time. And so you have the answers in your teacher's manual for this. Obviously your students will not have the answers on their worksheets, but that way it's really easy for you if you're assigning this out to your student to do on their own time, for you to go back and then check to make sure that what they read is you know, actually correct, and that they're actually comprehending what they're reading. So this makes it really easy for you. There's really little to no prep work for you. All you have to do is print out the unit, print out your teacher's manual, and then as they read through the chapter, you can just hand them their paper. It has the questions and the mini book on it, and they can really kind of do it independently if they're old enough. So if you have younger readers, I would maybe suggest doing the reading with them, and then you can help them fill out the mini book. You can write the answers or have them draw a picture for the answer instead of having to write it if they're not quite at the writing age level. But I would recommend this probably for 1st through maybe 5th grade, maybe even 2nd through 5th grade. Tinkerbell is actually a pretty decent reader, and she has had no problems getting through all of these. She's in 2nd grade this year, so I think she probably could have done quite a few of them last year. But if you do have a younger reader, you might just want to sit with them and just read through them and help them if they have a harder word. And so that is our time machine literature unit. If you have any questions on this, you're welcome to email me at erica@confessionsofahomeschooler.com, or you can visit my website at www.confessionsofahomeschooler.com as well. I have a bunch of these literature units. This is not the only one, so if you don't like this one, I'm sure you can find one that appeals to your child. So again, I hope you enjoy this unit. I hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you next time.